city of Dan. They went on ahead of me, and this is what it looks like at this nature reserve in Dan. Beautiful water, kingly presence, and this Tel, big deal, the Tel here covered. This amazing piece here. And then if you go over here, entrance to the left, there's a throne room.
So, what I want to say, first of all, just behind me, it's prehistoric settlement mound. Yes? Look over there. You see the typical trapezoid shape? So, long time ago, and I'm talking about what we call the Middle Bronze Age, 4,700 years ago, there was already a city over here. I mean, how old is this American city? The oldest American city. This is 4,700 years ago. It was already a city surrounded with a wall and watchtowers and organized kingdom. It's just incredible. You remember we talked about the beginning of mankind's civilizations, the first cities in Mesopotamia, so right over here. And this is what we called a tel. Tel, it's a Hebrew word, but it's also the international word to describe this phenomenon. This actually means a mound, which is typical, it's a characteristic of the flatlands of the Middle East area. So you found them in Syria, you find them in Lebanon, but you have in Israel about 220 telled like this. What I want to tell you about this, the first city was built here on a high hill. Okay, let's do like this. 5 conditions, every tell, everything I'm explaining you right now, it's before we even talk about this city. I told you because I need to give you a lot of introduction. So excuse me, I'm going to speak more than the usual. Everything I'm telling you now, the next 4 or 5 minutes, it's about every tell you're going to meet in Israel or anywhere. Okay? You must have 5 conditions. You don't say okay.
Okay.
5 conditions. A strategic location on a hill, next to the trade route, next to the source of water, yes? Next to the fertile valleys, and wood area around you. One more time. A strategic location on a hill, a strategic location on the hill, source of water, because that's the most important thing.
Source of water.
Next to the trade routes, so you can make business. Next to the fertile valley, so you will have agriculture. And next to the wood area. Why the wood area?
Heating and cooking,
Heating and cooking, but more important than that,
housing, shade.
making tools, swords, for the alloy industry. You need to burn, let's say, 1 ton of wood to produce 1 kilo of iron. The relation is 1 to 2,000, okay? So you need to burn a lot for the metal industry. And this city, the city of Laish, that was conquered by the tribe of Dan, and they named it Dan. It's in the book of Judges and the book of Joshua. Joshua 19, short version of the story. Judges 18, the full version of the story that we're going to tell you very soon. Okay, so this city of Laish, or the city of Dan, is built on the road to Damascus. One of the you had 2 branches of the Via Maris. So the road to Damascus continue over there, and the fertile valley of Hula, and the spring of Dan, and this is a strategic location on the hill, and the wood area around you. So all 5 conditions. So far, so good?
Yeah.
I need a volunteer.
Grab her.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, but if it's dangerous, then you wouldn't be missing anything.
Of course. Volunteer, Stephen. You've been volunteered. So sorry. So a nice hill, wood, streams, yes, all that. People
that
came here
right
4,000 years ago, built the city on top of it. Got it? Now, story of Israel, location, location, location. Remember, everybody wants to conquer. Everybody want to take over those trade routes. So they came over here. Sorry. Destroyed this city, but they had no bulldozers, so they couldn't just bulldoze everything. What they did, they covered the ruins of the previous city and built the next city on top of it. More enemies came, destroyed this city, and built the next city on top of it. Yes, 100 years later, more enemies came, destroyed this city, and built the next city on top of it. Okay, you know what? I will need about 15, 20 more hats to describe how many layers, okay, of this Tel. Okay, you don't have enough hats, but imagine the hats to be all the way up, okay? And we're talking about those cities can have anything between 20 to 35 layers of civilization, okay? City over city over city over city over city, okay? Just the Canaanites layers over here, only the Canaanites from 4,700 years ago to 3,200 years ago, we talk about 8 hats. And the latest city will be on the top there. The first one will be right over here. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So, help me. Oh, so sorry.
Oh, that's right.
So after saying that, one more thing. Very soon as we are traveling with our bus, you're gonna look from the window, and you didn't visit Megiddo. That's why I have to give more info. When you drive the bus, you look outside the windows and you will be able to tell it's a Tel. Got it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because all Tel have typical trapezoid shape. The reason for that is the fortifications of the city. Roughly in the days of Abraham, there was a new weapon in the local arena, efficient battering ram, pendulum, carried by soldiers, tried to tear down the wall. So all the cities in this region of the world build a new style of fortifications, which is earth embankments. The wall is like a kernel in the center, and you're piling earth from the outside of the wall, from the inside of the wall, and you do it all around the city. And then you build another wall on the top of this earth embankment. So this what actually gave the Tels the typical shape that you see today. And that's why Tel Beit Shean look like this, and Tel Chatzor we saw this morning look like this, the earth embankments of the city. Everything I told you so far is for all the Tels that you're going to see in the world, okay, that you see in Israel. Now I want to speak specifically about what we find over here. And again, sorry that I'm talking for so long. Usually I'm trying not to talk more than 7 minutes, but here we have a lot to explain. So, what's special about this place? The gate that you see over here. Okay, we talked about the book of Joshua and the book of Judges. You remember those nations of the sea, the Philistines? They pushed the tribe of Dan from their territory that was around Tel Aviv area. That's what the territory of Dan. Tel Aviv, the great Tel Aviv, it's called Gush Dan. But the Danites had to search for a new land, new territory. And they sent spies. And I'm going to make the story short. You remember Micah's curved images? The spies stayed the night in the house of Micah. They stole his curved images. They came here. They saw the people over here were quiet and peaceful Canaanites, Sidonians. Means connected to Sidon. They have nobody to help them. They brought their brothers. They conquered the city by the edge of the sword. They burned the city in fire, changed the name of the city from Laish to Dan. Okay? Added more. So I can't really tell you, hey, this is Jeroboam, this is a little bit after. Israelite gate, different layers, okay? The wall was right here. What you see is the stone foundation. The original wall was built from mud bricks. We don't have enough stones over here. So everything above is missing. It was built from mud bricks. And what you see, that's the reason you don't see the structure. But imagine over here to be a huge castle. Each city had one gate, and the gate is not just the open. It's a huge castle. That's where there's also the worship center. If you look right there, you see the sign? You see the little stage with the lizard? Oh, never mind. You see the little stage over there? You see the stones that stands over there? Yes, no, yes, no.
Yes.
Do I have to run there? No. Look at the sign. Look at the right-hand side of it. You will see 1, 2, 3 stones standing. People, we found oil and wine remains, organic remains. People used to sacrifice oil, libation sacrifice, oil and wine before they entered the city. All this area, this is marketplace where they had the International Trade Center. So the gate in the biblical days was the judicial center of the city, the commercial center of the city, the spiritual center of the city. And if the enemy conquered your gate, it means you lost the city. Impossible to breach those walls, but you can try and breach the gate. Okay, those 2 sets of wooden doors, you can break it. So what we want to do right now, we're going to walk into the gate structure. Into the gate structure. Those of you that want to continue, you know what? I encourage everybody to walk just as far as the inside part of the gate, because you can see the throne where the king or the judge used to sit, which is super cool. Oh, one more thing I forgot to tell you. Hazael inscription, House of David inscription, that's where they found it, in a secondary use. Okay? So again, incredible biblical archaeology was found right over here. One more thing for you. You see this trail? If you walk on this trail for 3 more minutes walk, you can see the Abraham gate and can wait for me over there as well. It's another option. Okay, but I'm not sure if there is a shade there. So if you want to see the Abraham's gate, you can continue by yourself just like these fellows did, and you can see the Abraham's gate, and I will go to meet you there.
Okay. That ratio of wood to iron.
This is what called the high places by the city gates. I'm not sure if you remember that King Josiah destroyed the high places by the city gate. Sorry? Oh, 1,000 kilograms of wood to make 1 kilo of iron. The ratio is 1 to 1,000. You can take a picture of this beautiful illustration over here.
Yeah.
And this is the marketplace area. And that's, you can also take a picture of this King Josiah, 2 Kings 23:8. Yes, don't go there, but that's where they used to worship. By the way, the stones are amorphic, with no shape. Not because they couldn't make a shape, because they wanted to keep it like this. They represent God.
This is not where worship takes place.
No, no, no. Okay, so now it's only rocks and stones, but back then it was smooth and nice. And here we're entering the castle. Okay, now imagine huge castle, as high as 5 stories building. The gate castle. Oh, that's the jackal. He wants you to know that that's his territory.
Okay.
Message received.
And here, that's why you do it in the center. And here,
Well, we'll show him.
Yeah. Whose territory?
Yeah, the U.S. is here, Jackal.
here there used to be one set of wooden doors coated with metal, and that's the threshold right over here. And we are now entering the gate structure. And the trees were left over here to provide shade, but you can ignore the trees. You're inside the gate. And look at this. That's the throne. Okay, I'm not gonna be here for the picture. Somebody want to demonstrate for us?
Joel.
So, and then think of this compared.
Again?
Are these original foundation stones?
Okay, you got me on that. Because I don't like the restoration over here. It's not clear enough if that was originally here or the archaeologists put it here. I'm being suspicious that they added more than they should.
Okay.
Okay?
Everything's nice and smooth over there.
It's too nice and too smooth. They should have made what we call the black restoration line. If you want my guess on that, the one that looks like they're worn out, that's the ones that were found.
You're gonna sit on the throne?
Joel's getting up there.
Joel's got it.
That's the one that were under the ground, and the one on the top. And here, there, it's exactly how they found it. And here, they added it.
I wouldn't do it like that.
So if I'm to be addressed, you have to. I need.
I hope you're dressed.
Jim, I need you to stand right here.
We have those both.
Need us to fan you?
Before I say anything, you have to say, "Hear ye, oh hear ye, oh hear ye." El Presidente.
No, but you need to pretend like there is a chair over here. You need to do like
This
this.
is good as you get.
He was telling us he needed to be dressed.
Hear ye, El Presidente
Speaks.
speaks.
So think about this. think about this in terms of the intimidation. Like you come in, here's the king. Now compare it to ancient Egypt. When you go down to these, I mean, like their thrones where the pharaoh would sit would be, 20 feet up in this massive room with all these columns, and you're just this little peon sitting down there making an appeal, and he sits up there. Like, I mean, this is impressive, but you compare it to some of the great ancient empires when it was all about trying to puff up the pharaoh or the king or whatever, and right, like it would just be. When you think of Daniel before Nebuchadnezzar and Babylon, like he was probably 15 feet up sitting up there, and you're just this little guy making an appeal to the king.
Yeah.
So this is
the base of the throne, just like you see in the illustration over there. These are original. This one is a replica, but you can see right over there, and reminds us again. There's so many biblical connections to this. I'm not going to mention them all. King David gave judgment by this between the two doors. One door was here, one door was here. You see, two sets of doors, and you're in the middle of it. So King David gave judgment. Absalom gave judgment. We have the famous story about Abraham purchasing the double cave of Hebron from Ephron the Hittite, where he did it at the city gate. Why you do it at the city gate? Because they want everybody to recognize it. So if you want to do something in public to seal the deal, everybody knows now Abraham owned the cave. You do it in public, and public is the city gate. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. Those cities were not that big. Okay, I need to say it again. Good that I remember. We're talking about maybe 25 acres on the top. Okay, but the vast number of population were actually living in 24 villages all around. So this city actually controls the whole valley around it. Got it? Mm-hmm. It's not just the city, it controls the whole area. And when the villages are coming, that's where they're coming. So that's the regional center. More than that, in the peak of the Tel was a big tower. And this tower can see everyone and can be seen from anywhere. And the people in the, what we call the city and its daughters, the villagers that live in about, let's say, 24 villages, yes, they pay taxes to the people that live in the city. So in the city, it's only the king's people, the professional army soldiers, the craftsmen, the horsemen. Horses were very expensive. The priests, all those people, yes, they are the people who live inside the city. But 95% of the population lives outside of the city. And they pay taxes to the people that live in the city. Okay? Only in a time of war, yes, when the enemy come, so all the population take covered inside the city fortress.